Good morning, friends. So now we'll start the next session. So the resource person is with us, Professor Ajit Kumar Reddy. So he was a faculty member in the Department of Chemistry, NIT Warangal till June 2017. In fact, he started this TLC center, and even he served as a coordinator for the Teaching and Learning Center for NIT Warangal, and also served this center for 2 years in the capacity of research fellow emeritus till August 2019. He holds a PhD degree from IIT Kanpur. He has also done PGDH RM from IGNO. He holds a master's diploma in training from IATD. He has presented 76 research papers in national and international journals and conferences. Professor I.A.K. Reddy has trained over 6,000 faculty members of higher education through induction training programs. He has delivered invited lectures at various premium institutions on new pedagogical methods, outcome-based instruction, learner-centric instruction, ICT in higher education, technology-enabled learning, blended learning, open educational resources, MOOCs, etc. Professor I.A.K. Reddy is a fellow of Telangana Academy of Sciences in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the society and to the fraternity of NIT Warangal. He is honored with Best Science Faculty for the year 2016 by NIT Warangal. So we have an eminent person here with us. So we are fortunate here. We have such a personality here. So then I will hand over to Professor I.A.K. Reddy sir. Hello.
Yeah, good morning. So you please.
You can share it.
Yeah, my screen is already sharing.
Yes, sir. Now your screen is shared, sir. Now you can click on the screen. Just click on the screen.
You can click on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes. We are able to see. Right.
We are able to see you.
Okay.
Yep.
Good morning to you all, friends. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar, for the wonderful introduction, and thankful to you for having made a part of this FTP on 3D printing with an emphasis on metal 3D printing. And I also thank the TLC of NIT Warangal for giving me this opportunity for interacting with you, and also the administration of NIT Warangal. Friends, so let us move forward. The title has been given to you in the timetable as student engagement strategies for face-to-face and also online teaching. So let's move with a lot of, because this is student engagement, so I need to engage you as participants. I see now the number of participants are about 80, 85, and I hope the number of the participants are from divergent backgrounds in terms of being the professions. In some of them are from industry, some of them are still pursuing their PhD, and I think quite a large number of them are faculty from various engineering institutions, and particularly the mechanical engineering. So friends, let us move forward in this exciting area of teaching and learning, and also a crisis moment of COVID-19. I'm sure all of you are taking care of yourself at your own respective places, safe and secure, and hope you're actually in the learning mode, because you're already present here in this particular FDP, means you're in learning mode. I hope all of you will come out with more effective, more enhanced skills, knowledge, and attitudes by the end of this FDP, as well as during the time of this particular COVID-19 period. So friends, so let us for the next Now it is the mic is handed over to me, or the session is handed over to me at 11:23. So let us have for the next 55 minutes or so certain ground rules laid out for the session. Unlike what you think of other webinars, I would like you to also make a part of this whole session. So I wish that you will actively participate. There are a number of ways in which you can participate, even though it is online. However, here we'll be using mainly the chat window for interaction purpose. So if the number is smaller, actually you can use the option of audio speaking, raising hand, and also being seen by the video and so on and so forth. But here, because of the large number and time being less, which is a main constraint, we'll use chat. You all will use chat window as and when certain queries are posted, and I'll be responding to that. You will also be responding to other queries, etc. So please use your chat window and other features wherever it is necessary. Today we are not going to use other features, so please use the chat window. Please have also, if possible, have a pen and notepad, which you must be already having. In a face-to-face situation, actually, we used to provide a very attractive notepad to you, and right now, this is all going in an online virtual mode. So you please have your own pen and notepad in case you need to jot down something and write down something, and also respond on the chat window. So shall we start? Are you ready? So if you are ready, please say in the chat box "are." All of you, my dear friends, colleagues, please say yes. Okay. So let's move forward because time is main constant over here. Good. So that's how you please. All if I expect all the 91 to actually use the chat window as often as they can, as it's required. But we will also use another rule called start and stop. So when I request you to interact on the chat box, please use. When I request you to stop so that we can focus back on the session, you have to do that. All these rules you can also put to your students if you are doing your online classes or seminars or webinars, whatever you do. All these rules you could lay down right in the beginning of the session so that the session becomes more effective. So we will use the start and stop action also as far as chat window is concerned. So this particular presentation, which talks about learner engagement strategies for both face-to-face as well as online learning, is useful not only for the faculty at the moment, but it will be useful for everyone, whoever is the participant here, because you will be making a lot of presentations, and involving audience is a key for success of any of these deliberations, presentations, and seminars or webinars or whatever. Right. So friends, let's move forward, and I'll start with a question as to just know as to what are your expectations from this session. One word, two word, one phrase, not more than 3-4 words response in the chat window. Can I have your expectations from this session by seeing the title of the session? Okay, what are your expectations? May I request Ramachandran, Raju, Arun Singh, and Malik Mental, Aditya, and all of those who are present as part of this 91. May I request you? Yes, effective online teaching. What do you expect here? How to effectively reach students, and knowing about methodology for online teaching. Okay, learner engagement, improvement, learning new ways to engage students, how to effectively reach students in the COVID pandemic. Okay, so what I get from you is actually the focus is on online learning, so we will less focus. Yeah, so how to engage students intentionally. So my okay, so I am able to see in the chat window the engagement is with respect to the online, and face-to-face is less emphasis. So that's what I'll do from here on. So let us see this great quotation by Albert Einstein. I do not teach anyone, I only provide the environment in which they can learn. Well, fantastic. This is what you can do as teachers at this moment of pandemic. This is a fantastic statement. It is making things available to them, creating an environment where they can learn. That means what? Your engagement is only till you actually put forward the environment, that is making the material available online, appropriate, suitable material, so that the self-learning or self-engagement happens. So that's what is engaging. See, say for example, if I take 3D printing from the time I know Dr. Ravi Kumar from a decade or so, it has slowly started emerging. And initially, the amount of literature available in 3D printing was not enormous. But slowly over this last decade, it has grown so much and so much diversified. Applications are diversified in such a manner that the amount of material is too much. So even if you are given a 3D printing as an elective course, which is suggested, what happens is you will not be able to cover quite a few things in these 40 hours of your contact. So what is that you can do is to make sure that the student gets engaged for other time that is available to him. After this 1 hour, if he is engaged in an institution for about 8 hours, then probably 16 hours are left to him. Even if he spends about 10 hours otherwise, at least let him spend 6 hours in teaching, in learning process. So how is it you are going to make use of these 6 hours outside the classroom becomes more important for listening, more important for learning and engagement than what we deliver actually in the classroom. Classroom is only for actually giving information, inspiration, motivation, and then giving overview and certain other details, such as complicated details. But if you're trying to cover everything that's available in 3D printing in a matter of about 35 to 40 lectures, it may not be possible. This is a case with whether it is IoT, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. Whatever happens, the knowledge is constantly increasing, and hence we need to adopt this is the way out in future. We need to adopt the methods or techniques, obviously, to engage him actively beyond the classroom. So friends, that is what is creating the environment for learning, rather than actually per se face to face all the time speaking or telling is not learning. Telling is not teaching. Speaking is not teaching. Teaching is different. So that's what we will see. So at the end of the session, what I expect you to use certain of these student engagement strategies in face-to-face teaching, and also strategies on online learning for realization of the learning outcomes that you put. So I lay emphasis on that, though I have prepared elaborately because time is short. So we will move on to practical applications of certain engagement strategies that can be useful for you as a teacher, both when you go into the classroom and also online. And I'll probably focus on online situation than the face-to-face, because this is what is being given by you as a feedback in the chat window. Fine, fantastic. So whom are we facing today? The students we are facing today are not same as the students we were facing 15 years back, 20 years back, or a decade back. Technology is getting improved and improved and improved. Moved from 2D to 3G to 4G to 5G. The situations are changing. People have moved from ordinary normal phones and to the smartphones, and a lot of things can happen. WhatsApp has emerged, Facebook is active, LinkedIn is active, and so on and so forth. Things are happening. So these people, these learners today, are called as who are born during this millennium, are called as millennial learners. So friends, millennial learners are also referred to as digital natives. They are native to the digital media. We have come in between, but they are born with the digital media. Their entire outlook is different. So we should keep them in mind and then actually do the presentations, seminars, webinars, or the classroom lectures. So they have less attention span. That's a problem. So the attention span less means you need to be more and more active in making them active, designing in making them active, and not allowing them to actually deviate from the focus of the lecture or the webinar session. So friends, they are very comfortable. Today's learners are very comfortable with technology. They are willing to communicate through multimedia. They are more comfortable and happy to communicate through multimedia. In fact, if you see any student, if you're even in the class, if opportunity is given, or even if opportunity is not given, below the table he will put his smartphone and try to operate and communicate. That's the way it is. You cannot ban cell phones in the classroom. In fact, we are talking about making cell phones compulsory in the classroom so that we can communicate through mobile apps within the class itself. Even Moodle platform is available as an app in the cell phones. So friends, they don't want to just learn anything. They want to learn only what they want, only what they wish to learn, and they want interactive, experiential, collaborative techniques for learning. So this is what is order of the day for the millennial learners. They don't have patience. They don't have that much focus to sit in the class for hours together and listen to you, because they think that whatever information is being provided to them is already there at their fingertips, which is true. What information is not there available to them? Everything is available to them. because we are also speaking from some textbook or some website or some information source. They also have access to all that information through the Google information card. So there be something else in the classroom, some novelty, some creativity by you as a teacher in the classroom. Okay, that's whom we are dealing with. So let me break for a minute now and put forward this question of this. Everyone is talking about in India today the outcome-based education, which is actually true even in olden times. So my question to you, to be responded by you in the chat box, is what is your view? What is your opinion of this outcome-based education, which is in short as an acronym called as OBE? I will give you 1 minute time to respond in the chat box. What is your opinion? What is your view of this outcome-based education? Over to you. Make use of the chat box. Express your opinion. There are 96 here, 96 participants here. I wish response from all the 96. Okay, barring some organizing members. So may I request you to put in the chat box as to what is your view or opinion of this term called outcome-based education. Take a minute, starting your time. Now I am watching the chat window. Hello friends. What is your view? What do you mean? According to you, what is outcome-based education? Please respond in the chat box. Okay, student-centered learning. Go ahead. Okay. Anirudh and okay, Aditya talking about knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills. 10 seconds left. Anjaya. Good. Teachers active. Nagraj. Okay. Complete assessment of student. When we're looking at assessment, set goals. Okay. Okay. Is a model of education. Please be very brief. Okay. Don't take effort in typing of paragraphs together. Okay. So no paragraphs please in all the users in chat box. So Prabhakar read. Okay. I have yeah, very nice. Student-based teaching. Student-based teaching. Okay. So what? Okay. Now we shall start. I got the feedback. Learner-centric. Fantastic. I got the feedback. May I request you to stop using the chat box now? Okay. So what I have done is to give you a minute time. Give you a minute time to put your responses. Now let's look back as to what exactly has happened in the participants. What has happened in your back of your mind? You are made to think. You are made to process the information that you thought, and you are made to write in the chat box. So you are active at that point of time. Your thinking is coming into picture. Okay. So your cognition in your mind is happening. So this is what is referred to as as a 1 minute paper writing. So this outcome-based education is a student-centric learning philosophy that focuses on measuring student outcomes, nothing beyond, nothing else. It's very focused. What is that student has learned, and measure that learning, and it should be quantifiable learning. That's it. Okay. So it's always revolving around, as some of you have said in the chat box. It is always revolving around the student-centric learning and also measuring what he has achieved. So it requires that the student demonstrate what he has learned. Suppose if you say he is able to do any kind of a design for a metal 3D printing, he should be able to design and also do the printing process as per the specifications that are given. If he is not able to do that, all the theory is gone to the winds. So students should be able to demonstrate what he has learned. If he is taught to write to speak clearly in an English language course, he should be coming out and speaking clearly, right? Then only if he is demonstrating that the ability to speak clearly without any grammatical errors, that means he has achieved. It is a question of not just learning per se, knowing and understanding. It is a question of demonstrating what he has learned. Friends, that can happen only when he is involved in the process of learning. So this particular technique that I have demonstrated to you, you can use this in any of the classes as what is called as a 1 minute paper, ask students to write for a minute or two, depending upon the topic that you are giving him, and you let them respond to a question that is asked by you during the session or previous session, whatever. So he will comprehend whatever he has learned, and that is going to be very, very useful for student learning process. So wherever you want to transition from theory to application, wherever you want to transition from one particular concept to other concept, and in order to get the feedback on the prerequisite, you can just pause for after 15 minutes of explaining the concept. You can pause for a minute and ask them to write what is that they have gained. Give a minute precisely, stop, go around, see what they have put in, and then you will get a lot of feedback and then move on, and from there on. It's called as 1 minute paper. Okay. This provides an opportunity for students to explore their ideas before discussion, and also you can close that session and move forward to the next session if you wish. You can use a number of ways. So this can be integrated with various other active learning tools in the classroom. Is that okay? This is called as 1 minute paper. So this is one technique I have already put for you to engage the students and see a lot of what has happened exactly in the last 15 minutes, or even if you have to put it as a summary of the last previous class, you can put, etc. So friends, 1 minute paper. Now we will not spend much time on this. So this OBE pyramid is available, is known to everyone. Program educational objectives, program outcomes, COs, there's course outcomes. But what I suggest you, if you want to really be a very, very, very revered, respected, effective teacher, then you also boil down to writing what are called as a unit outcomes or module outcomes or lecture outcomes called as instructional session outcomes also. Please write them, make sure that you make them clear to them, and also make them to achieve those outcomes in that given lecture. So if you have taught 5 lectures, 5 outcomes have been obtained. That means unit outcomes have been obtained, and these unit outcomes, of number of units outcomes, would foster attainment of what are called as course outcomes. And then course outcomes are obviously, all the course outcomes are expected to foster the attainment of PSOs and POs, that is program specific outcomes and program outcomes, which will in turn are expected to foster attainment of program education objectives, hence the outcome-based education, friends. So this is what is actually required by the accreditation bodies like NBA or NAT. Now in this, there was a lot of confusion in before, but now they have evolved this. Earlier there were what are called as the graduate attributes, 12 graduate attributes, on the basis of which we were supposed to write POs. But now NBA has put into saying that these POs themselves, these attributes themselves are POs. That's it. So you need not write any POs, but try to see that these POs, that is program outcomes, are acquired by the graduating students from your institution, from your branch, etc. So what are these? If you are able to see these 5 program outcomes that are compulsory for any engineering institution for the students to achieve, these are all domain based. These are all domain based. There are 12 program outcomes that are to be achieved if you are aware of the MBA process. Okay, friends. So these are called as domain specific outcomes that are to be achieved. Obviously, in mechanical engineering, all these are relevant and courses are designed in order that these program outcomes are attained. Friends, so now the next seven, for those who are exposed to this accreditation process, next 7 program outcomes are actually not directly related to the domain. So can you some of you who have a lot of exposure to this accreditation process and program outcomes, etc., can you write down one of those non-domain specific attribute program outcome in the chat box? 20 seconds for you. Can you write down one of those non-domain specific program outcome? Fantastic. 20 seconds. Very good. Society and student, no. Okay. Madhusudan Raju has put 2. Good. Madhusudan Raju is very active. I would like every one of you to be active out of this 96. Yes. Social ethics. Okay. It just said ethics. Professional ethics is fine. Leadership skills is not put forward as a leadership skill. Lifelong learning is good. Fantastic. Mr. Arun, done. Yeah. Oh, okay, friends. So some of them are fine. Stop now. Okay, let us stop. See, these are engineering and the society precisely, and then environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, project management and finance, and lastly that you said, You said that lifelong learning. These are all not directly domain specific. How is that you are going to satisfy these, map these POs into the OBE system and convince the visiting experts about you have achieved these POs? So what is the connection? Actually, it is very difficult to connect. So my point is, my belief is that all these 7 attributes can be imparted by you as a teacher through your innovative approach to teaching within the classroom. Okay, so we will see as we go by, we will see those. So what is said is actually learning takes place through the active behavior of the student. So are we making the student active both in the classroom, outside the classroom, is the question. It is what he does that he learns, but not what you do. Okay, so it is what he does that he learns, not what you do. So friends, so what you do is immaterial. Okay, immaterial, because what you are able to do is also available in the net, also available in the textbooks, also available in various forms. In information is available. So what becomes important is what actually student has done. That's what he learns. Okay. So friends, that is said by this Taylor, the great American educator. So coming to actually what is the purpose of teaching? I would have actually broken down this into number of small sessions and made you to work in a face-to-face situation. But since time is short and our expectations are different, so I'm going in a manner that I'm little rapidly, so that we go into the actual methods of what exactly we can do in both face-to-face as well as online learning. So friends, we actually teach to make the student learn a particular content, nothing beyond. All of your probable responses would be actually a part of this response. We have to make him learn. The point is he will learn only when he is involved. The point is, what all you can do, okay, you can never learn for him. Nobody can learn for a particular student. Only he has to learn. Learning is his internal process. Learning is for him, by him. Actually, that's it. You can only learn to teach. You can never learn for him. So you are only doing all the outside activities externally to support his learning process. And the learning process is internal to him. So all our endeavors, both in the classroom and whatever assignments we have given outside the classroom, should be revolving around making him to learn, support his learning. That's the key. So the teaching itself is actually a set of events that the teacher is performing outside the learner to support his learning. Internal process of learning is different for the student. Now, what are you going to do? Only to support the internal process of learning. You will learn to teach, but you can never learn for him. So how do we enable him to learn becomes important. So out of these two processes, friends, so what do you think is the most important process? Can you use the chat box and put forward what is more important of these two processes in an educational setting? Over to you, 10 seconds. Both are important. Both are important. Learning is important. Learning is 80% whole, and then both are important is about 10% right now. Both are important. Learning is important. So I did not see any teaching as being very important. So stop, please. Thank you. Stop. I thank all the other participants, all the 95 participants who are actively getting involved in the process of this presentation. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Be active similarly. It is so. Suppose if you teach, and then the students say they have not learned, what is the use of teaching? So teaching is only a means, friends. It is not an end. Teaching is only a path. Okay, teaching is only your journey, but then the end is what? End is learning. So if students say that they have not learned through the lesson, through a particular lesson, then what is the use? It is as good as no teaching is done. Okay, so teaching has to reflect in learning of the student, otherwise it's useless. So it is not what teacher teaches that today matters. Okay, so it is what learner learns that matters. That is simple. So hence, teach and learn image is given here. So can I have in the chat box, what is the message for us? What is the implication for us from this particular image that is projected on your screen. What is the message for us? What is the implication for us? What is the action point for us from this image? Can you just tell? What is the action point for us? The image gives a lot of meaning to the teachers. Okay. Okay. What is the impact for us? What is the action point for us? What do we take away from this? What do we take? Imagination, not to teach to reflect learning. Fantastic. So congratulations to Navini for that response of teach to reflect learning. That's fantastic. Here it is reflecting. So you teach to reflect learning. Your teach must reflect in learning. Your teaching must reflect in learning. Otherwise, it is useless. Okay. Finally, basically that. So today's teacher requires, particularly you said about online teaching. Today's teacher requires certain competencies. In precise, 3 competencies. Now, in fact, not only teachers. Whenever it is a research scholar, most of them are future teachers, or future scientists, or future professionals in industry. Everywhere they have to make presentations. They have to make presentations. They have to make presentations, and all of them, this is useful and important and necessary. So, what is called as a TPACK model is there. In fact, we were also telling about this model another way from the Teaching Learning Center, propagating this. So, what exactly the competency that you require is number 1, mastery of the content that you are delivering. Content mastery, content knowledge to the supreme level, content mastery to the Bloom's taxonomy's highest level called create level. You go through 10 books and 10 websites, whatever you want, you do in your subject. You have, please become master of what you are teaching. Content mastery is important. If somebody can write books, at least we can master what is written in the book. That is my intention, my contention. So please become master of the subject that you're teaching. Spend any amount of time, do whatever efforts you want to put. Become content master. That's it. Okay. You're 100% satisfaction of yourself. Let any student ask any question, I'll be able to respond. So that's the way your content knowledge has to be there. Next is the pedagogic knowledge. That is instructional methodology, teaching learning methodology, learning psychology. A lot of pedagogical knowledge, instructional design, instructional planning, and also the assessment methodologies. All this put together is what is called as a pedagogic knowledge. So there is no course for the higher education teachers per se, but today it has emerged in such a manner that you need to possess certain amount of this pedagogic knowledge, that is teaching learning methodology knowledge. So attend some courses and become a master of this as well. Thirdly, today's setting, whether it is COVID-19 or not, pandemic or not, what is going to be in future is different, but future is going to be, at least this online learning is going to stay. Okay, this webinar is going to stay now that we have got used to it at a lesser cost. These are very cost effective. So technological knowledge pertaining also should be necessary. Technology knowledge necessary. But these 3 knowledges that you have cannot be in isolation. They are actually overlapping between each other. They actually intersect at some point. So you need to possess the pedagogic knowledge, not in isolation, but pedagogic knowledge related to the content. Pedagogic knowledge related to your content could be little different. Could be different from the general pedagogic knowledge. So that particular intersection, that's the overlap part also you are expected to know. Similarly, what technology is suitable for you? There are thousands of technology tools today available for online learning. So what are those tools that are suitable for your content? That becomes important. For that pedagogy, for that technology, for that content, what is the pedagogy? For that content, what is the technology? That becomes important. So there's an overlap between these 3. So technology, content knowledge, pedagogy, content knowledge, technology, pedagogy knowledge, all these put together arrive at an intersection area called TPACK. That is technology, pedagogy, content, pedagogy necessary for that particular content is referred to as a TPACK. That is what is TPACK model. You are expected to possess technological, pedagogical knowledge for that content. That's what you have to acquire as I'm going to be a 21st century teacher. So today's teachers' roles have changed enormously. You have become a facilitator of learning. You have become a manager of learning. You have become designer of learning. You have to be. If you have not become, you better be. So please move away from the routine process of providing information. Don't act as a mere provider of information. Push that information to them anyway. That information is already there existing. Okay. So provider of information per se in the classroom is not going to be very effective from here on for the millennial learners. So you have to manage their learning. You have to facilitate their learning. You have to design the how they will learn. You have to design for that. You have to create learning material, whether it is online or offline, particularly online learning material has to be created. You have to wear a robe, wear a dress of even authoring various online MOOC courses. This is a different role that is emerging, that has emerged already. You have to be actually stand by him and then guide and mentor him. That is what is your role today. So friends, there are number of roles that you have to wear today as a teacher in comparison to the teacher who was actually a provider of information, because the information was not available so much abundantly everywhere, because internet was not there and so on and so forth. So what you are expected to do is those roles you have to fulfill today. You have to build your competencies in a manner that you fulfill those roles and then satisfy the student body. So learning happens through various means according to psychology. So learning by doing, feeling, thinking, and listening, apart from watching, and hence you need to use all these senses in the process of learning and make sure that all these senses are employed during your preparation of the course material. Fine. All right. So this has been shown. Average retention rate if you're only lecturing is very less, but if you're involving the students and making them also to teach between themselves, the retention rate is going to be 90%. If you make them to do certain things, it is 75%, and so on. So what is the message for us, friends? What is the message for us from this visual about what we are expected to do with the students in the class or outside the class? So can you use the chat box and tell what is the message for us from this particular research finding, that pure lecture only allows your students to make only 5% of retention? So what is that? What is the message for us? Practice. Yes, good. Yeah. So Nagamalleshwar Rao is doing fantastic. Go ahead, Nagamalleshwar Rao. Please go ahead. And others, Madhusudan Raju, learn by doing. Fantastic. So learn by doing. So there is an activity. That's what we are referring to actually. So what is your job? Primary job with the student, I'm telling you, what works more than simply speaking, telling, which is already there in the books. Please you act differently. Please try to inspire the students. Please try to excite the students. Try to inspire the students in a manner. Try to motivate the student in a manner that actually you open the book, you open the cover, and they cover the subject. You uncover the topic, let them cover the topic. This is what is student engagement I'm talking about. You uncover the topic, they should cover the topic. By uncovering, I mean is that you have acted as a catalyst in a manner that they get so much inspired and motivated to learn the subject that they go back and run into the book and see. By suppose some serial is given, we are running at that time to see the serial. Or some novel is given, some suspense novel is given. Why people are turning the next page and reading? Why Bahubali 1 has attracted to Bahubali 2? So please create such an excitement, such a motivation in the students so that he learns. That's the main job. So students will learn only when they feel the need to learn. So in my perspective, there's an equation for learning. Learning is a direct function of motivation. If he is motivated to learn, he will learn. Let what may come. If he is not motivated to learn, let what may come, he will not learn. That's the problem. There's a problem with our children. There's a problem with our family members, relatives, friends. There's a problem with our students as well. So, friends, you act as a great motivator. You also learn how to motivate. There are a number of articles, a lot of things available. So you can motivate students to learn. That's a key job of yours. So these are various things that I'm not going into details. There are lower order thinking skills, higher order thinking skills in Bloom's taxonomy. These are called as lots. These are called as odds. But we have to transform our teaching from simply remember, understand level, which can push it to the online scenario, but try to make them apply, analyze, evaluate, and create, and acquire what are called as higher order thinking skills. So friends, your teaching has to empower the students, enable the students in such a manner that they start acquiring those higher order thinking skills rather than simply go to memory level of remember and understand. So that is That is the transformation you have to make in teaching. That can happen only when you engage the student actually. So friends, the attention spans are less than 10 minutes. So you need to actually go on changing the methods during the class hour in such a manner that their attention span is kept up across the hour. So use a lot of methods during the classroom in such a manner that the attention span and the learning effectiveness continues over the period of your 45, 50 or 60 minutes, whatever is the length of your period. So friends, one method alone, monotonous speaking at the both writing and the speaking, deriving, writing some equation, monotonously, obviously, even a movie, if two people are putting dialogue one to other, just like olden days dramas, even they used to move from left to right and right to left, is not going to be effective. So what you're expected to do is use a lot of techniques, methods inside the classroom itself for engaging the students. Now, so if I have to talk about a list of them, this 1 minute paper we have already covered. Case study itself requires an hour for me to explain and what exactly to be done. This is very common in the management. Now it is coming to the engineering and various sciences and various other areas also. The question is, you please design based on the knowledge that you're gaining in this FDP. You please design cases, write cases in a manner that they have multiple solutions in such a manner that the problems are designed in such a manner, or case is written in such a manner with a lot of questions behind beneath the right case in such a manner that the students are forced to think very divergently, very differently, and everyone comes up with a kind of a different answers for that, and then you put that case to discussion, and lot of things will emerge out of that. So that is case study method. You push that case to the, if you wish, you can give that in the classroom. You can push that online, let them get prepared, and let them come back to discuss on it. The next method that I usually follow in my classes, and also I've been in the training of 6,000 students, 6,000 faculty members, is what is called the TWPS method. Fantastic, you can use immediately within the classroom. Okay, peer instruction is another method. Problem-based teaching is another method. Video-based teaching, 3-to-1 format teaching, project-based teaching, and then incomplete handout scenario, and lastly 10 plus 2. So these are 10 methods I have listed here. I'm sure the time is not definitely sufficient to cover all this, but PLC would be conducting number of programs on pedagogy alone, 1 week programs, 2 week programs. We have even conducted 1 month programs. So as and when time permits and somebody is too keen on them, lot of you can actually come back to TLC, come back to NIT Warangal, and go through some of these courses, get empowered as an effective teacher, go back and become effective, and then thrill your students. Okay. So if time permits, I'll come back and then probably refer. But then I'll slowly put forward. These are 10 methods we have talked about. One I explained in 1 minute paper. Other is the case study method. All those methods will be really difficult because we are already at 12 o'clock, and I've listed them. You can type in Google any of them, and also try to see more information about them. And as and when time permits, you can actually contact me on my mobile or on my email. I'll be able to actually explain them better. But what I've seen in the chat window, is is the strategies that are required in today's pandemic or online learning. So let us move into this online learning. What are various strategies that can be used? It is not that you don't know, but what I'm trying to consolidate and put forward how effectively this can be used. Right. So I'm putting as one is LMS-based activities. There are a number of learning management systems available, and of course Moodle is one of the leading one because it is a free software. It has been made free today, but so much traffic is there on this learning management system today because of the COVID-19 that it is actually not able to sustain the traffic. So that's the kind of an importance or the greater role that Moodle is playing today as learning management systems. But on using this learning management system, if you're trying to replicate your classroom teaching through learning management system, just simply pushing the information, that's not going to be effective. Learning management systems have a lot of features and facilities in them. Only when you exploit the learning management system, you will be able to engage the students. The first thing is the e-text created by you. That's a minimum thing that you can document created by you, pushing in terms of PDF or whatever it is. So good material can be created, given to him with a lot of questions behind to answer, respond, things like that. So e-text creation. Now next is There are a number of free tools available on the net for video creation by you. So just in front, sit in front like this. So for example, what I'm speaking is already getting recorded in GoToMeeting website. So you can speak in front of the camera in front of your laptop, and also have your PPT side by side, and then record for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, create that video of the lecture that you're going to deliver, say next week or tomorrow, day after. So create your own video and then give that video to them upfront, and then let them go through the video time and again. Also show to their friends and see the suggestions. So creating videos of your own, besides borrowing videos from elsewhere, is going to be a very effective method of engaging students beyond the classroom. There is a great facility in this learning management system. See, this video can be uploaded into the LMS, please. Okay. Now, forum discussion. There is a beautiful feature called forums. So you put forward. So in what way the metal 3D printing is advantageous as compared to the polymer based 3D printing. Now, what are these advantages of this? So if you put that in the chat in the forum box as a question, so may I have your suggestions or your opinions. If 100 students are taking your course, 100 students will respond in a different manner, and all the 100 students will read these 100 responses in the forum. So you see the kind of enhanced, besides the teacher can also respond at times. Teacher can give a lead in that, and the students keep on responding. If they want, they don't know how to respond, they will go to the YouTube, or they will go to the website appropriately, and then respond. So everyone is active in either writing the forum discussion or reading the forum discussion, at the end of which you can really get enriched. I'm telling you, I have done a couple of courses during this COVID-19 time, and I have participated in this discussion forums online, which are offered from other parts of the world other than India. And the community that is built up is the world community. And I was responding to various questions. I was putting questions, and all this was happening. And finally, the discussion forum information on a particular, say, technology-enabled learning. What I have done is technology-enabled learning. Now, in that, the intricate questions are given as what are the models available and things like that. So there is one thing called as technology integration matrix. So how this is useful in your building up designing the web-based course and things like that. If that is a question given, the responses were so many that there are about 200 participants in the course, and the information ran to a couple of hundreds of pages only on that particular discussion. So what kind of an engagement you are making them to read the discussions and also contribute to the discussions. That's a great opportunity. Online assignments, of course, beautiful facilities available as to when you can release it. You can actually post it. Okay, this assignment should be released by 11:59 tomorrow and will be available only for the next 2 days. That is available like that. So they can submit, reload that assignment in a particular time, otherwise that is not taken. So good assignments can be, it's a question of creating that material. Your ingenuity, your innovativeness, your creativity, your dedication, your job comes into making these particular assignments, quizzes, making the text, making your videos. A lot of work is there for you. But once you do that for once, with a little modification, it will continue, little enhancement, new versions, addition of new versions, new things that will be helpful for you the next 25 years in your career. So friends, online assignments is a good way to push through the LMS and ensuring that they read the material, go through the video, and then submit those assignments on time. Otherwise, they lose the marks. So virtual groups can be created. So like this forum where everyone is participating, what you can do is to divide the students into kind of a groups, and then give different questions or same questions to those groups, and come up with their, they can meet virtually, and then share their opinions and come up with a consolidated summary of the task that is given to them. It's a fantastic way of actually making the groups online, which are called as virtual groups. So a lot of things can happen. You're engaging the students in the tasks. So that's important. So friends, we have got something called as, they're fascinated to learn. Krishnanand was always talking about whenever we were interacting. So Krishnanand was talking about, just-in-time manufacturing. I was wondering what is this JIT. JIT, there are books available. So I was wondering what is this JIT. Then I found out from him as to what is this just-in-time. This is referring to manufacturing. There's no point in having lot of warehouse with you. Just only when your order comes, you manufacture. Then I understood. But then when we were browsing, we also found out there is something called JIT in teaching. So this JITT refers to just-in-time teaching. So just-in-time teaching refers to, you actually give the material through online to the students, and then you ask them to go through your video or some other video, and then ask them to go through the material, and also give what are called as warm-ups based on this material that is given. Give up warm-up questions or quiz questions on that material, and then they will go through that material. So don't think that why they will go through. You are given your own material, your own videos, and ask them to go through. See, your video is as good as you are teaching in the class, right? So they are expected to go through and then respond to the questions just before they come to the class, about a couple of hours before the class. Say, for example, 6 hours before the class, they will respond. So for the given material, instead of you going over and directly just going on telling in the classroom, or whatever you wish to do, just telling, writing something on the board or showing some slide. Instead of that, you have put all this into their boxes online in the LMS, and then they are coming forward. They have solved some questions, different answers have come to you, and they have to do it, say, for example, something like 6 hours before the class comes. So what teacher would do is to go through these responses for the material or for that video, and then consolidate what is understood, or what everyone has understood, and what is that part which is not understood, and formulate his instruction within that 6 hours period, and then come to the class in a way that you don't just talk about repeat things that they have understood, and spend the time only on what they have not understood. So just in time you are preparing, and just in time you are delivering the material in a manner that is not clear to them, and then you are enabling them to learn higher order thinking skills by way of group discussion, or whoever has not understood whatever they have not understood, you are making them into groups, and then making them to learn the things that are not known to them, instead of speaking all the things that are there in the content or in the given unit. So talking about just-in-time teaching is referring to learning by you as a teacher to learn what we have understood, what we have not understood, and formulate your session on the basis of what they have not understood, and usually that will be of a higher order. So you are actually enabling, by this process of just-in-time teaching, the acquisition of higher order thinking skills. The flipped classroom is almost similar thing. You are giving everything, your video, all the material to him outside the class, and making him to come to the class only for the clarification, doubts, and discussion processes. So routine things like definitions of equations, derivations, etc., you are not going to do in the class. They can always push it to online. So what you are doing is only you are flipping what is happening so far. What is happening so far is you are giving the information and providing information in the classroom, okay, almost one way, and then giving some kind of assignments which you don't know whether they are solving or not at all, or they are solving with the friends. You don't know what's happening. They are submitting the assignment by use of their friends, copying their friends' assignments. So what you do now is to actually give this routine material of information provision by your own video. Now, a lot of sites are there: Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify, Presentation Tube. Number of freely available softwares are online, so you can make use of them, and then prepare your video, give it to them, let them come back. No more one-way talking by you in the class. Use the class only for discussions, and then clarification, and then acquisition of higher order thinking skills is what is called as flipped class. A number of resources are available online called OERs, open education resources, whose their free licenses are available. Free licenses. You can use them and you can create them, and based on these OERs, the all government of India initiatives that are there in terms of SWAYAM, or in terms of virtual labs, in terms of EPG Patashala, in terms of FOSSI, in terms of IIT KGP pedagogy project, or whatever, every material is in the open source actually. So you can make use of them and design your assignments and make sure that the student gets engaged with those OERs. You can be creator of OERs and contribute, and your name will go across the globe actually if you contribute to OER. So this is a big topic again. Using virtual lab has already been. So based on the particular virtual lab that is already available, you give assignment to the student. Online you give assignment, and then let them respond in the LMS through, in the LMS as to what they have learned through that particular. So you give a lot of different questions based on that particular virtual lab that is already available, as spoken by our director, beloved director, on the opening day. No, MOOCs based assignment. There are thousands of courses available both in India and abroad. And Indian courses are more suitable because the material is, English language is easily readable, and also the videos are easily understandable. The accent is understandable, etc. So there are thousands of courses through NPTEL and other platforms, all put in terms of MOOCs, Swayam MOOCs now. So you can use this material. You can use this material or give assignment on the basis of the MOOC. The MOOC anyone can register freely. Only if you want a certificate, you have to pay 1,000 rupees to get the certificate. But otherwise, the material is available. So based on the MOOC material, you can give lot of assignments, engaging the students. Online educational games, number of even Khan Academy has educational games. So this is called as a gamification way of learning. So you can engage him in creating the game or asking him to go through the game that is available online. They are called as e-walls. That is, if you create a wall in your site, in your LMS, everyone can post whatever they have to on a particular question. They can post their own postings in the same wall. So these free walls are available. So for example, Padlet, Padlet, Padlet software is available. If you incorporate the Padlet into your LMS, then put a question. Every student can put his responses on that Padlet, just like a notice board. Everybody is taking their sticky notes. So you can use this also to engage a student by giving certain of the questions. So lastly, you can use the social media to a very telling and great effect in future. So what is that? Online polls. So actually I asked Dr. Ravi Kumar whether this has poll. So I would have used some of the questions or some of the information in terms of online polls. Online polls you can use to engage him. The online poll that you're going to create is to make him to learn something and then come back and forth, right? So we will go into we'll go quickly into the later section where you are interested in terms of online. I'll show you. Right. So that LMS, Moodle is a fantastic LMS that is available. So these are all called as asynchronous platforms. Moodle is a free software. Blackboard is another software, but it is paid bit. It's very famous. Canvas is rated as #1 LMS in the world sometime back. It is very good. I have gone through when I was learning online. They were using this Canvas. Google Classroom is right now free, and Edbedo is also a free software. My class is just emerging. And then MOOCit is a software created for developing online course. You can actually contact Professor Prabhakar from IIT Kanpur. He has developed this platform. He is also having a teaching learning center like us. He has developed this platform, and I think if you contact him, he will make this platform available for you to develop your own online course. He was actually an alumnus of NIT Warangal Computer Science Department. So Swayam Open edX, if you design a new course and ask permission, they will make you to use this to develop a course. And also, if you develop a course and contribute, they will pay a lot of money. So those are all LMS available. And Moodle is the one that is freely available. You can actually register for this as genomio.com. If you go and you can actually register your own site and use that LMS for your online learning. So a lot of features are there which you have to make use: text, images, and then mobile enabled also, forum discussions, assignments, assessment, grading, etc. So you can do a lot of things. So flipped classroom I have already explained. So friends, these are some of the websites: Screencast-O-Matic, Cam Studio, Presentation Tube, Screencastify, Flipgrid. I have given you 5 here. There are a number of other free sites available. All these sites, if you just type the name, that's enough. All these sites will be, once you register for them, log in, create a login, they will allow you to record your own video, short videos. Please don't create any long video. Please create any video. Best is 5 minutes. Super best is 3 minutes. Don't exceed beyond 10 minutes. But if it is compulsory, don't exceed 15 minutes. In any case, nobody has patience to go through your video. So please break down your lessons into short, like Khan Academy has done, short videos, and then make the students learn. These are five websites that are given here, which are useful for creating your own videos freely using your own computer and webcam. So friends, JIT I have already explained. OERs, number of things are available as OER. OER means open education resources, freely to be used by you, modules, textbooks, video. There are thousands of textbooks available, e-textbooks available. There could be a textbook on 3D printing also freely available, e-material, which you can actually copy, paste, revise, translate into English, Hindi, and then make use of it put your name, but only acknowledge the person who has created that. That's it. You can use these things. So please make use of OERs. OERs are usable, revisable, remixable, redistributable, and then retainable. So that's a Swayam portal where thousands of courses are available, where material can be used for you for student engagement. Okay, you can integrate that material available in Swayam for your purpose. And then this EPG Pathashala, some thousands of modules are available here, made by Indian professors. So you can use some of the material from here directly copy, paste, and you use it. Okay, say that this is from the EPG Pathashala created by Ajit. Okay. Finally, we at NIT Warangal have actually contributed around 20 courses for this pedagogy IIT KGB project. This is available online. I think even mechanical engineering also some of the courses are there. So these material can be used by you in your courses as a supplementary material in order to engage students. So ask students to go to this particular portal. So there are a lot of modules available. There are a lot of objectives, questions, answers, responses, material, summaries. So 200 courses are available. Friends, out of these 200 courses, 20 courses are prepared by NIT Warangal faculty. So courses on mechanical engineering, or number of courses available. Use the material to engage the student. Use the material. So a lot of social media also could be used to engage the student. All of these methods. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, all these things. You can create your own blog and engage them to respond in the blog. Okay, blended learning I'm not going to details, but in the finally, improved teaching refers to you speaking less in the class, making students work more in the class, making students to also talk in the class in the form of discussions, making the students to solve problems, write something, design something in the classroom rather than continuously speaking for 60 minutes. So you are expected to evolve a formula where your time is certain percentage in a class, student speaking time is certain percentage in the class, and nobody speaking time is certain percentage in the class, so that it becomes a two-way process, discussion process, however thinking learning process than directly one-way teaching for all the 60 minutes. That is no more scenario now. So what is the best method of teaching? If I have to ask you, I would have paused it for a lot of slide situations, but short of time we're all out. So I'm concluding. Whatever method works for your students is the best method. You are the chief. You are the CEO of your course. So you can do whatever you wish, but it should work for the students. So best method of teaching, there is nothing like best method. I've already presented 20 methods here to engage the students. Some of them you can pick up, you can use your own creativity and innovation, go forward, thrill the students, fascinate the students, amaze the students, make students interested. What works for learners may not work for others. So you have to choose appropriate method. So what is the way forward for you as a teacher or as a presenter? You need to possess broad repertoire of teaching competencies to enhance your effectiveness in the changing demands of today. So you need not only just by communication means only speaking. No, it is not going to help. Lot of competencies you should have at your hand so that you can pull out appropriate arrow, appropriate method, appropriate technique based on the demand of the students or the class or the particular content. So please ensure that all your students have certain learning outcomes to be achieved. Your effective teaching should lead to making students achieve the desired learning outcomes that are set forth before them. So your job is to ensure that not 60%, 70%. Your job is to ensure that all the students acquire the desired learning skills. So let us look into lastly this particular statement. Learning is not the product of the teacher. John Holt has talked about it. Here is a John Holt. It is a product of the activity of learner. So the question is, so my title pertains to making student engage, making student active, so that the learning takes place in the student. So friends, learning is not the product of the teacher. Learning is a product of the activity of learner. So ensure that your students students are made to be active. Use all the methods from your side in order to make him active and hence learn. So the number of methods are given, but you are expected to know which method is used rather than looking for other methods across the wall. Okay, so please use all the methods are there below you. So please choose right methods and then become an effective teacher by using this what are called as student-centered pedagogical practices and become very, very effective teachers. So thanking all of you for your wonderful presence and wonderful response in the chat box, and wishing you, your students, a happy learning, and wishing you to be a great, effective, respected teachers who contribute to the national growth, national development, in particular in this pandemic area. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar. Thank you, Mechanical Engineering Department. Thank you, Professor Krishnanan. Thank the TLC, and also thank the administration of NIT Warangal for giving me this opportunity to be interacting with you, to share my knowledge on these various tools and techniques, methods available for student engagement, either it is face-to-face or online. Over to you. Hope to meet you in future, somewhere, sometime. Thank you very much. Thank you.